Okay. Except you're muted.
Oh, I said, I think that Jill was going to start us off, right? You're muted though.
It was.
I just unmuted her.
There you go. Go ahead, babe.
Thank you.
She's frozen.
Thank you for. Thank you. And what I wanted to say was I wanted to introduce Sandy. Now, Sandy, everybody on this call knows that I've known her since I was an infant. I mean, we've been friends forever because of our parents. Our grandparents knew each other, and it's wonderful that we've kept in touch. And then when I moved to Ohio 26 years ago, we were able to be in touch again. And I think it was approximately 11 years ago that Sandy told me about Juice Plus when we were starting to be able to visit more, call more. And I thought, well, that sounds great, but I don't know if that will work for me. I just don't know. I would take vitamin C, and I've always been a walker. I've always walked and worked out. So I went to a conference, right? And I thought, wow, these people are really just so nice. And I did notice that Sandy, as well as the other people in the conference that were taking Juice Plus, their skin looked so beautiful. They looked glowing to me and so healthy. Now that I did notice, but I still thought it wasn't for me. Well, as the years went on and Sandy and I kept in touch, she kept asking me about Juice Plus. And when I went to a smaller talk with her 3 years ago, I really got it. I said, this is nothing artificial. It's not like anything you can get even from GNC or any place like that. It is all made from fruits and vegetables. It is the real deal. It is not going to hurt my liver or anything else in my body, because with me being in housekeeping, I was taking 3 Aleve every single day just to get through my workday. And as I've continued to get older, I thought this is damaging my body. I can't do this and go on and on and on. So that's when I sat down with Sandy after and I said, what do you recommend? And she recommended the 3 main Juice Plus items that is called the trio: the orchard blend, the vegetable blend, and the berry blend. And after about 5 weeks, it changed my life. I off of the Aleve. I don't have to take it. I have more energy. I would get a sinus infection and cough and it's weather, but after a day, I come home and rest if I don't feel that great, and then it's gone. It's like I do not catch, thank God, the flu, bronchitis, sinus infection. It really is real because there's so many things out there. And Sandy has an awesome story about how Juice Plus has helped her son, her next to the youngest child, her son Joey. And it can bring you to tears. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So I thank God that and I thank God that it was introduced to Juice Plus.
Yeah, me too. Because I don't know where we'd be without it. But so when I had, talked to Jill several different times, and I knew that she was focused on wellness. I knew that, she was focused on staying healthy. She always has been. In fact, her mom was too. Diana, I remember your mom having that little turntable in the kitchen on the table, and it was like full of vitamin stuff. And anyway, I always remember that. And so and Jill grew up that way, and she was the same way. And I just, over the years, every once in a while, I'd say, did you realize that and I'd tell her another piece of something, about Juice Plus. But it wasn't until she had a real need for it, where she was realizing that Aleve was really unhealthy for her, that she's like, I'm going to give this a try. And she found that it was amazing. And I was like, yes, I love it. I told you that, right? And here's why it is. It's because it is just fruits and vegetables. It's whole food nutrition in capsules or soft chews. It's backed by over 25 years of research, third-party research, including 40 studies now done at reputable places like Yale, MD Anderson, Vanderbilt University, and published in peer-reviewed medical journals. And you guys, some of these researchers are the top researchers in their field. So it's completely amazing research, and it's second to none. It's the most researched nutritional product in the world. So it's totally awesome. And that's why I love sharing that with people, because it's for real and it can help so much with absolutely anything. It doesn't, I love that the Juice Plus company does not claim to treat or cure any specific disease, but there is not one single thing that better nutrition isn't going to help. So, you know, that's the whole point behind that. Oops, I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring something up and I got the wrong thing. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. The reason that this is so important is because we need 9 to 13 servings of fresh fruits and vegetables every single day. And nobody does that. I mean, nobody does that. There was a doctor that said, "Are you kidding? I'd have to live at a salad bar to do that." So even the best eaters need help. And that's why we're so thankful for this nutritional support. And Jill told you, you know, what it did for her, that she was taking 3 Aleve every day and doesn't have to do that anymore. For us, I found out about Juice Plus almost 12 years ago now. Joey was going to the Nicholas School, which is a special school for neurological development, and he was having seizures. He was having electrical shocks to his brain once per second, 24/7. And when it wasn't always clinical seizures, but the electrical shocks were so huge that it was like wading through mud to try to get him to think. It was just, his brain was fritzing all the time. It was like short circuit all the time. And it was awful. He was on the ketogenic diet, which for seizure control is so far beyond what you've ever heard of for weight loss or anything. Almost no carbohydrates. So almost no fruits and vegetables. Can you imagine? Like almost nothing. It was 90% of his calories were coming from fat. So it was extremely nutritionally deficient. And so the ketogenic diet helped somewhat, a little bit with the seizures, but not a lot. And I was just really looking for solutions and went to this presentation at the Nicholas School. Carolyn Russ here was hosting that presentation. And so they told us about this product that was fruits and vegetables in capsules, but it was so low in carbohydrate. And I said, "Whoa, wait a minute, give me that bottle." And I looked at the label, and it was so low. I said, "If you can get me the exact information that I can calculate this into his meals, this will fit into his diet." And I started giving that to him. And you guys, within 3 weeks, we saw this enormous difference in Joey. He was learning things he couldn't learn before. It was incredible, absolutely amazing. But me, the skeptic, I was like, "Nah, it couldn't be. Like, there's no way." But then 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and he was getting better by the day. It was like we were seeing the light bulb come on, and we were getting our son back. And it was so cool. So after, I think, somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks, we started to wean him off of a medication he'd been on for over 5 years. And normally when that happens, you have seizures because the brain gets used to having that chemical. So even if it's not controlling them, you'll still have seizures. He had none. He still had none. And his brain was healing so incredibly much that 3.5 months later, I called Carol and I said, "All right, we have seen such amazing changes in Joey. If it can do this kind of healing in a damaged brain, I know it can do that kind of healing in the rest of us too. So is there any way I can get this at a better price? Because I really want to put my whole family on this." And she said, "Well, I'll meet with you. Let's meet with you and I can tell you about that." So she showed me the marketing plan, and okay, you got to get this. 5 kids, homeschooling them, except for Joey, who was at the Nicholas School, special needs kid. I said, "I don't know. I don't need another thing to do. I'm going to have to ask my husband." So I took it home and I showed it to him. He said, "I think you should do it." I said, "You do? Are you kidding?" He said, "No, you know you. If something works, you tell everybody. You may as well get paid for it." Okay. So, and he was absolutely right. He was absolutely right. And I absolutely love it. I have not looked back. So the more I looked into the company and the product, the business, everything, I just really fell in love with it. It's a very ethical company and marketing plan, which is very important to me. The company gives back incredibly. They're very involved with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America and Volunteers of America. They're just amazing. And so it was a company that totally lined up with my values too. So not only are they very ethical and want to do everything right, including having their product tested, third party testing so that they know exactly what's in it and what's not in it. But they really want to give back too. So it's been just fantastic for me. But I want to tell you a little bit about what Juice Plus is before I turn this over to Carolyn, because she also has an awesome story. Juice Plus is over 30 raw vine ripened foods. It's non-GMO. It's NSF certified. That's the third party testing I was telling you about. They're completely vine ripened. All of the produce is completely vine ripened. And that's really, really important, because in produce, most of the nutrients come in the last 48 to 72 hours of ripening. And the produce we buy at the store has to be picked long before it's ripe. So otherwise it'll be mush by the time it gets to us, right? Because it's shipped long distances. So the store-bought produce does not have nearly the nutritional content that Juice Plus, the produce in Juice Plus has. And then it's ground up using the entire food, peels, leaves, seeds, whenever possible. And that's important because those parts of the food contain a lot of nutrients. Like in an orange, for example, 80% of the vitamin C is found in the peel. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not into eating orange peels. So, and then it's gently dried at low temperatures, so all the enzymes stay active, and then it's put into capsules and chewable. So the science behind it is amazing. And Jill can send you a link to that if you're interested. It's on her website. Just look under clinical research on her website. And then also it has a food label on it. It's not a supplement label. It's a nutrition facts label. So just like a bag of apples or carrots. So it's not taxed in Ohio because we don't tax takeout food here, which is awesome. It also has no warning label. Nothing. So it's safe for people of all ages. We like to say from womb to tomb. Pregnant and nursing mothers, medically fragile people, it's safe for everybody. There are no contraindications with any medication, which is totally amazing. Most supplements can't say that. We now have a plant-based omega blend. So they skipped the middle fish and they went straight to the source of the omega-3s for the fish, which is the algae. And this doesn't have only omega-3. It has omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And it's all sourced from plants, which makes it sustainable and safe. There is a whole food protein shake called Complete. It's vegan, gluten-free, high fiber, low glycemic, which is super important for energy and blood sugar levels. So that's fantastic. It's great for before or after a workout, when you're recovering, or a healthy snack or a quick breakfast. We have that almost every day for breakfast. And then there's also an amazing way to grow your own produce called the Tower Garden. And that's an aeroponic hydroponic growing system developed by Tim Blank, who was the chief horticulturalist at Epcot Center. So he knows what he's doing. Tower Garden produce is more nutritious than produce grown by traditional gardening, grows faster, and it only uses 10% of the water and space. And you can grow year round with the grow lights. There are two different types. There's Tower Garden Flex, which can be indoors or outdoors, and then Tower Garden Home, which is just indoor, and it's their newest one, and it's completely amazing, and I can't wait to get one. So I want to have Carolyn tell you her story with Juice Plus, because that's pretty amazing too. Joey introduces Carolyn as the lady who saved his life, because if it hadn't been for her, I don't know where we'd be if it hadn't been for her stepping out of her comfort zone and telling us about Juice Plus. So Carolyn, why don't you tell them?
Yeah, thanks. I never get tired of hearing people's stories, and I for sure never get tired of hearing that one. So my name's Carolyn Russ. I live in Tip City, Ohio, and I was the administrative coordinator for the Nicholas School. And but my story was that 14 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And a friend reached out to me and asked if I'd heard of Juice Plus, and I had not. And invited me to an event, and it made sense to me because the research made sense to me. And I was a little skeptical. I was actually a science teacher in my previous life before my kids came along. So I kind of had that kind of mind, but I was also pretty desperate. And I said, well, it can't hurt and it might help. And oh, by the way, as Sandy said, if you buy enough of this stuff, can you get a discount? I hadn't had surgery yet, but I wanted to make sure everybody in my house stayed healthy while I went through treatment. And so that's how we got there. And I was never going to share it with anybody, ever. And then I had the surgery, and my oncologist said, you know, you need to eat 9 or 10 to 13 fresh raw fruits and vegetables a day. And I'm like, well, I have this stuff. You haven't seen it. It comes in a bottle like this. Let's see, here's my little camera up here. And you can see on the back, it does have a nutrition fact label, not a supplement label. And so she said, oh, that'll be great. It'll fill in the nutritional gap for you. And I said, how do you know that? She said, because I can read the label. It's a nutrition fact label. It's not a supplement. I don't want you taking supplements. And it will fill in the nutritional gap for you. So that's how it all started for me. And so that was 14 years ago. I'm just so grateful to be as healthy as I am. I can remember a few years ago, I passed Go, and they said, we're going to consider you now a patient with a history of breast cancer. And so that's how I live my life, as a patient with a history of breast cancer. And I felt like at some point, I could not share this with people. And people asked me about it. Maybe they noticed my skin. I don't know. But it became compelling to share it with other people, actually. And then, since I was working at the Nicholas School, I was kind of, well, I have a daughter with a disability myself. So I'm always keyed into that world. And I heard a mom do a presentation on Juice Plus and autism. And I went straight to the school and said, we have to tell our families about this, because these kids have horrendous diets. And I watched what they ate every day, and Joey's was the worst. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I knew why they were doing it, but it was just appalling to see him eat so much fat. So that's how that actually came about. And down the road, I went to my first conference. And the next year I took Sandy with me, and we've been flying together for a few years now. And it changed our lives forever. We saw a bigger picture. You know, she told you about who the company is. We're in like 24 or 5. It keeps changing. We just opened in Mexico. We're going to be opening in Romania. So I think that might take it up to 26, 27 countries. And the mission of the company is to inspire healthy living around the world. And we still have the same president and founder. And his vision was to create a stable and lasting company that could help as many people as possible, whether that's with their health or with their wealth. All I wanted was a discount to begin with. Then I saw I could pay for it for 3 people. And I thought, well, that's novel. And then I got a comment in my paycheck, which I thought would never happen again in my whole life, because I had retired from teaching many years previous and didn't feel like I could ever go back to work. We had 3 kids, and the youngest one had a disability, and it was full-time mom work for me. So I think one of the things that Sandy and I would both say, and Jill is saying too, because she's been in the community and to see what we're like. And it is the community that draws us more than the paycheck. And it is the opportunity to help people and give them hope. So for me, Juice Plus was hope in a capsule. I still have trouble wrapping my brain around produce can do what it does.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I'm looking at 71 in a couple of months. And I don't even know how that happened because I don't feel like I'm 71 or 70. And I don't know, the clock keeps spinning or something. But so I guess what I would like to do is just take you through a little exercise. I think we've kind of given you a thumbnail overview of what Juice Plus is and what it can be and all that kind of thing. So I like to do this. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. And well, let me tell you one more thing, because I forgot. Starting from, I was never going to tell one person about this. It was my husband too, who looked at the marketing plan and said, Caroline, you'd be crazy not to do this. So I kind of trusted him, and I kept getting drawn by this community of amazing people. And so for you to know, our business model is called the Juice Plus Virtual Franchise. It's 85% of people who take Juice Plus are simply customers. And some people want to offset the cost. Some people want to create income. And what really attracted me was that when you reached the highest leadership position in the company, there was a benefit package there that was equal to what my husband had in corporate America with Teradata. And it's monitored by Cigna. It is medical, dental, vision, life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care insurance, and there's a Christmas bonus. And because I have a disabled child, I knew that if I had that package, I could carry her on my insurance till I quit, because if you have a corporate benefit package, a disabled child can be covered. So that was important to me. It was also important to me to give back because Juice Plus had helped me so much in my own health. So I just want to play along with me here for a minute. Just take a second, close your eyes, and pretend you're in a room. And I want you to start filling your room with everybody you know. People you love, your family, friends, people you don't love, schoolmates, people you work with, people in your neighborhood, or maybe just a casual acquaintance, somebody you met doing something. People that you would see in your day-to-day activities. You might not even know their names. And then ask these questions. Do you know anyone in that room who would like to be healthier than they are now? Would they like their children to be healthier? Sandy, we need to come back to that one. Would they like their parents or grandparents to be healthier? I think about myself. My kids didn't have healthy grandparents. And I wanted to be a healthy grandparent that could play with my grandchildren. I also want to dance at their wedding. Who would like for their family members to live longer? And do you know anybody in that room that might just want to lose a little weight or live a healthier lifestyle? So just imagine that, like us, you're seeing faces of these people that you know and you care about. Now think about them in a different way. Do you see anyone in the room who would need extra income, or who would really like to have Juice Plus in their life and have it for their whole family and would like to be able to pay for that? Or maybe they dislike their occupation, or maybe right now they are considered non-essential. Maybe you would like to avoid driving to work every day, or the alarm clock that gets you up, or would like to work from home, or would like to earn $500 to $1,000 a month, more or less? Would they like to enjoy life in general without putting everything on a credit card? Or more holiday time, less, and more opportunity to travel, just to have options in their life. I mean, you can make the list as long as you want. And so think about those people. Did you find yourself in that room? And is there anything about what we've said to you that would attract you? Or if it doesn't you, do you know somebody that would want to know this information that we could, that Jill could talk to and share it with? There are tens of thousands of people that have joined this mission. And we need more boots on the ground. Right now, we are in an unprecedented time. And I think we can offer hope to people. So, if you're wondering how you can help Jill or how you can help your friends, I think we have a really good opportunity for people. We are certainly inviting people, but you get to do whatever you want. There's never pressure to do anything. If you want to be a part of her business, that's great. If you want to be a customer, that's great. I will tell you that there are no minimums in this company. You can have no orders. You can just have your own orders, or you can add to orders. But we wanted to, the thing that we forgot to tell you in the earlier part is that we also have a program that offers, if an adult takes Juice Plus, a child can get it free for up to 4 years. What we do is we co-sponsor and help pay for that product, and the company does. And that is because our founder and our president wanted to make sure that we had our kids' backs, that families could get their whole family healthy. That's people like Sandy, who had a big family, lots of kids, and wanted all of them to take Juice Plus. So that's, I guess, a little bit of who we are. And I think what I'll do is I'll stop the recording and we can have questions. How does that sound?